Hello everybody, Bmerica here with another video for you. Today I'm going to show you a redstone elevator. This one, I call it more of a service shaft or a service elevator than more of like a decorative indoor elevator. And the reason I say that is because if I send it up, you'll see that you can actually see the flying machine, and it's only a flat surface, so I imagine it just being used to like take up heavy loads. And it doesn't really need to look nice while it's going up. It's just kind of getting you from point A to point B, where my other one, it's kind of more for indoor use, where you want a little more decorative design as you're going into it. So this one works basically the same way. It just sends the elevator up and down. This one I only have set up as a 2-floor elevator, but there's probably some way to make it into a third, or add a third floor. The wiring's pretty simple. It's a very small space of 4 by 8, so there's not a whole lot of redstone that needs to be done. I would say that the most complicated circuit is this one here, which stops it when it reaches the top. So let's get to it. Alright, so to start, we're going to start with descending for the bottom row. So what you want to do is come over 4 from the side, and then build 3 starting from the front, and then working back to the third block. And then skip over 1 and then go build a block there, put one on top of it, and then a torch on the side of that. And then you're going to want to build up 2 and then over 1, and then break the 2 that you used to stack up, put a torch on there, put a redstone signal or a redstone dust so that it turns off this redstone signal. Then we can run this redstone signal from over there. Put a redstone dust on top of that, and then we're going to build up 2 from there, and then put a torch up there so that will turn off that torch, turn back on that one. And you can see that I'm leaving it on normally, and that's fine because it's all the detector cares about is if the signal changes, not if it's active or inactive. So if we press this button, you can see that this signal here flips off, and that's exactly what we want. And now that we have the wiring done, we want to put an obsidian on top of the line, and at the very end of the line we're going to have an observer looking down, and then on top of the observer will be a slime block, and on top of the obsidian will be a sticky piston. So a slime block on top of the sticky piston, and a sticky piston facing down next to that. And then you want an observer facing away from, or looking away from that piston so that the signal goes into the piston. So we'll also need a slime block beside that. And then you want to do 4 slime blocks, and then whatever your floor is going to be of your elevator. So now that elevator is working, so I'm not going to hit that button because then I'll send it off and I don't have the top build up yet. Okay, and now to build the second floor, we are just going to build up from the first button. Now I would recommend making it at least 7 blocks just so that this block is somewhere in the shaft. However, you can make it shorter, and then it won't have to travel up as far to set off this signal. So you could make it 3 tall, and then the signal will come from right around here. So we'll build up. And then on this 10th block I'm going to put a button, so that will be where our signal comes from. And then we'll just want to break the block below that, and then we can break this tower. And then what we want to do is we want to come down from that, and down from that, and then we want to place redstone on those 2. Then we're going to go 1 more, and then come in and over like that. Now these 2 you'll probably want to be semi-decorative, maybe even this one, because they will be visible from inside of the device. And then what we want to do, well, we can test the signal on that. So then whenever it comes up, we can send it back down now. However, the important thing that we need to get done first is the catching system so that this doesn't just keep going off. Alright, so to start the catch system, we want to go over 3 blocks, and then then on the same level as the button, we want to go over 1, and then that is going to be where our piston sits behind. So then we can break that, and then this will be our catch system, so it will just push this piston out. And then we can cover up this here just so that it looks nice. And then this will help us notice where our elevator is actually going to come when we activate it. So then we want to build a 3x2 area, and we're just going to make a pulse extender here. And then from this pulse extender, we're going to go over 2 and then down 1 like this here. And then we're going to put a stone slab beside that, and then a stone slab down here, and then we're actually going to pillar that down 7. However, we'll get to that in a second. So what we want to do is place a repeater going in and set that to 2 ticks, otherwise it won't actually activate the piston because these comparators for some reason won't take a shortened pulse. So then we'll just keep coming down. Okay, now that we have all 7, this one here should actually be on this other side here, so it should look like this, and you want that one to be a block. It doesn't have to be, but that will be our line coming out from the elevator. So then you want to put another red wool right there, and then we want a glazed terracotta. Doesn't matter what color, but I would match it with whatever your elevator shaft is. And then from that, we are going to just run redstone all the way up this. And there's that. So now, whenever the elevator comes up, it should catch, and then we can send it back down. Also, one thing over here is that although it doesn't look like you need to have this piece right here because the observer is going to be right here, if you don't have that turning, then it will power the observer, and then it will power the piston, and it will throw off the timing, so it won't actually go down. It'll just break the flying machine. So we can go ahead and send it up. Oh. So this block here needs to be a terracotta block, and then now we can put the... So I'm going to send it back down real quick. And now if we send it up, then it will go all the way up. It'll stop by that piston pushing out the block. And that's also why we have all 4 of these covered, so that there's actually 12 blocks in here. Because you could put this observer right here, but then number 1, you can't pull that block back down when you're descending, and it won't be possible to activate that observer. And then if we press this button, it will send the system back down. And that is our completed design. So everything else would just be for looks or style. So this elevator shaft. Now one thing I do want to say is you're going to want to either place these 2 as terracotta, or you want to build a piston swap so that it'll actually push in blocks right here and pull them out before the elevator goes. But the easy way to do it is just put in some terracotta or other immovable objects. And that's most of the way with any of this terracotta, is that it can be switched with immovable objects, because they'll perform the same way with the flying machines and elevators. And this is how you make a realistic service elevator. So I hope this helps you with some of your ideas in your own base, and I hope you enjoyed the video.